Hello everyone and welcome back to another Forza Horizon 4 video where today we're going to be doing something a little bit different on my channel. We're actually going to be doing a Rivals event with a specific car and track combination. Now the point of this video isn't to try and say that I'm really good or anything. I don't particularly see myself as being amazing at the game. I also don't think that I'm really bad. I think that most of the time I'm relatively average, but I thought it would be pretty interesting just to see how I stacked up against the rest of the world. I also thought that it could be pretty interactive with all of you guys, where if you wanted to do this on your own time, you could go and join my Discord, show some screenshots of your own times. You could also just leave a comment down below and tell me how you did, and we can just have some friendly competition. Again, it doesn't matter if you're really good, really bad, just trying to improve and seeing what the best time is that you can actually put down. So for this video, we are going with the 1986 Hoonigan Ford RS200 Evo and the Quarry Cross Country Circuit. This is probably my most used car in the game. I think it's really fun to drive, and it's probably my most used track in the game as well. If you've ever joined in on any of my Twitch streams, you've probably noticed that we basically do this track at least once in every single stream. I really enjoy the fact that it's pretty rewarding when you get the right line going across the jump, and it's pretty punishing otherwise, so there's a bit of difficulty to be learned. So for this video, we will be doing an S2 class restriction. Again, in future videos, when we do stuff like this, I'm probably going to choose a car, track, and class combination that's not as typical, just to try and create a bit of variety. But for the purposes of this video, this is what we're going with. It also wants me to pick a rival already, so I don't really know what kind of time I'm looking for. I'm going to scroll down the list and see if maybe something like the top 100 is possible. I actually don't know. I know I've put some pretty good lap times down, but I don't actually remember exactly what they were. So you know what? For the purposes of getting started, we're going to aim for the top 100. If we knock that out of the ballpark, maybe we'll aim for top 50, something insane like that. I don't actually know. These are also the settings that I will be using for the purposes of this challenge. I do have ABS on, and I also have traction control off. I know some people like using a different combination. They think that sometimes it can make you slower or faster. Use whatever you're comfortable with. This is personally what I'm most comfortable with, so this is what I'm going to go ahead and use. With the exception of shifting being in manual, I've really only been doing that for the last week or so, so expect to see me, basically blow out my transmission, but don't worry, it's a video game, and I can kind of get away with that. Alright, so we're going to get started here, and I'm pretty sure for this kind of lap time, we're going to need to go around at least get a running head start, because obviously this guy's, already up to speed coming to the line. We are not, so this first lap's basically a throwaway. And hold on a second, we might be in for something pretty interesting here. Wait a minute. Fourth gear. Up to the line. Okay, well, top 100, kind of easy. I don't think that many people have necessarily run this class on this track and Rival specifically, so it's probably not actually that hard to get here, especially considering I didn't even have a running start. So we're going to go ahead, bank that lap, and then we're going to go ahead and probably aim for something like, I don't know, top 75, top 50, but that was a lot easier than I expected. So after that one lap, we're already 93rd in the world. I'm pretty sure I can gain at least 2 seconds on this time just from having a running head start. Also probably being in the correct gear, because I know I was in way too high of a gear for about half of that lap. So if we scroll up, we're at 47.8 right now. What's a 45.8 get us to? 45.8 would get us to close to the top 50, a bit lower. So you know what? For right now, we're going to aim for the top 60 and move on from that. Alright, so again, kicking it off on the first lap. This time, I definitely don't expect to actually be able to beat this person on the first lap, just because they're going to be so far ahead. And apparently the other person was just actually a lot slower than I expected, because they had a head start and we still managed to beat them. So I'll probably see you guys in a couple of laps when I actually have time to do something. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to miss that checkpoint, so this lap's basically a complete scrap anyways. Alright, so getting a good jump here is actually probably the start of a good lap, because you are going to carry this momentum all the way to the line. You probably don't want to be in 5th gear there. You know what, that's not going to get us very good momentum either, because we've already just lost all of it. This will be a better lap than the first one when we come around this time, and we are actually even with this dude. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to help us too much, because we already lost probably a second from what we could have had. And I'm definitely grinding the crap out of 5th gear there. Probably don't want to be there. 2nd gear for this corner, I keep coming in here in 3rd, and I think it's a bit too slow. But then I'm also forgetting the shift, like I said. Getting used to manual. If it takes me too long, I will switch to automatic, but I feel like I can do this in manual. So you can tell this lap didn't go too well, because I found myself in a very precarious situation. We're just going to go ahead and ignore this lap and move on to the next one. Alright, so coming to the line this time, actually with some decent speed, still not shifting at the proper point. I'm sure we're getting bogged down in 5th gear for some reason. I'm not sure if that's something I'm doing or what, but I might need to switch to automatic, because I'm kind of getting bogged down in areas that I wouldn't actually expect. Alright, so here we go once again, this time using automatic, so I can probably get away with a few more imperfections, because I'm not going to be bogging myself down on all the straightaways, although it does feel like this car gets kind of bogged down in 5th gear regardless, even when it's not my fault. So we're going to have to see. We will have to come around for a second lap, of course, because this car is so far ahead of us. Just coming through the first big hairpin up here. All right, coming to the line this time, we actually have a full head of steam. Let's see if we can maintain this lead. We do lose a lot of time right here, probably because some like ABS or something kicked in. I don't actually know what that was, but I feel like the car just kind of broke, even though I didn't break myself. Ah, you know what this is? I am noticing an issue. It is braking for me. This is an issue. I don't know what's going on. We will try and complete the lap anyways, just to see where we stack up, but I feel like I messed up one of my other settings probably earlier when I was going through them, making sure they're all right, and in the process I somehow screwed all that up. We might actually still beat this guy anyways, but my car is hitting the brakes randomly for no reason. And you know what? It's not going to prevent us from getting top 60. I feel like we can probably get top 50, maybe even higher, if I fix whatever setting is going on and just causing this car to slow down for no reason. So I didn't actually realize this when I was looking at this earlier, but for some reason I had braking on assisted, which is terrible. I wanted ABS on. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's actually what I said, but for some reason my mind did not actually read what was on the screen. We're going to turn this back on and we should be able to go much, much faster and probably reach our way into the top 50. All right, so after an atrocious warm-up lap, we are going to come around and try and get our way back up to this 44.5, I believe, or 45.4, never mind, had those numbers switched around. A 44.5 would probably put us in the top 40 though. So you know what, I wouldn't say no to that. And you can see right away on the straightaway, we're already ahead of this guy, whereas we were braking earlier because the game for some reason thinks that's a good place to brake. I do not agree with that whatsoever. We actually do go a bit wide there, actually. I probably want to cut that in a little bit, but we got away with it there. This is going to be the big problem corner because I like to take this corner wide all the time in the races, and sometimes I do abuse the wall a little bit, not intentionally, and I kind of just set myself there. I probably don't want to go that far. That's not the quickest line to take, and it's actually going to be a pretty close lap time, but this was not clean by any means, so if we don't get it, we can definitely improve on that. We're going to go across the jump. We're going to hit not the brake, but we're going to get off the gas just lightly so we can try and control the car on landing. And coming to the line, we are already at a 44.1. I said a 44.5 would have been nice. A 44.1. I have no idea where this puts me. I'm going to go check. So after that run, I am 33rd in the world. I am in the top 2% of the people who have run a Rivals event on this track in S2. In order to get to the top 1%, which I think should be my main goal now, I'm pretty sure I need to be around 15th or 16th, depending on how the rounding works. Because technically, I'm pretty sure I would be in the 3rd% based on how I would have calculated this, but maybe my math is wrong. It probably is. It's been a while since I've really had to use it a whole lot. But you can see all the guys ahead of us. You have a big combination of people using automatic, manual with clutch, ABS. A lot of them have traction control off. I think, honestly, that would help me a lot. But this is what I'm comfortable with. I'm going to go ahead and aim for the top 1% and see if I can hit that using these current settings. Alright, so going once again, I have changed the Ghost to be the number 16 time in the world. I'm pretty sure that should put me in the top 1%. I'm going to be really upset if that's actually just one position away, especially if this takes me a while to get. I can perceive this taking, you know, quite a while. Don't be surprised if we skip and come back after I've done like 10 laps of this. Can we do this? Brake just a tad, keep it under control, going across the jump. I got real squirrely there, so I had to get off the gas a lot, but we're going to avoid the fence, and we're going to do it. All right. Not only that, but we're actually half a second below that. I'm kind of curious where this puts us. I feel pretty confident this puts us in the top 1%, but I'd like to see how close is this to the top 10, because the top 10 is where you get the people that have actually put a lot of effort into this, have probably run 50 to 100 laps. I'm kind of afraid. So after that run, I am officially in the top 1% in the world of people who have run this specific event. I am in 14th position. I am currently around 5.5 tenths away from the top 10. I feel like I can get that. I definitely lost at least 2 or 3 tenths across that lap, and I'm probably able to save a bit more if I'm able to hit the jump at the very end precisely. If you can do that, you can probably save yourself another half second just on that alone. So I'm going to go ahead, put Tomcat up here, funnily enough, as my rival, and see if I can get in the top 10. All right, so here we go. We're aiming for the top 10. This is our warm-up lap. And of course, don't take this video the wrong way. I'm not trying to say that I'm top 1% in the world of like all players. I'm just saying that, you know, mathematically, I am top 1% already on this track. Obviously, if more people actually put effort into doing this, I'm sure that would probably not be the case. It would probably be a lot more difficult. Also, I see that guy just sent it absolutely flying. So I feel like if I can just keep it planted, keep to the right of that fence, I can probably beat this guy. All right, so here we go, lap 5. Obviously, the last lap was kind of a throwaway because I already screwed up coming to the line. And unfortunately, I still kind of screwed up a lot of other turns as well. This might take me a while. This track, once you get towards the top 10, like I said, these are the people that have actually put time into doing this. You're going to need to run a really good line, and this corner especially. I'm not very consistent on. Usually when I'm running this in a race, you know, you run 10 laps back to back against other cars, you're probably going to do pretty well. But when you're trying to, you know, run them off in these rival events, you're too focused on the ghost car and you're not really worried about your own line. You're too worried about them. And I'm trying to run a better line through that section also to try and keep as much speed as I can. But that was just not a good lap. I don't even know if this beats my personal best already. Alright, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, whenever I go across that final jump, I'm just getting real sideways. And usually that's the best part about this track for me, is that I'm pretty consistent. But I think now the pressure is getting to me, now that I'm actually trying to aim for like top 10 in the world, you know, something better than just like a race win or something like that. So I don't know, I just gotta keep it planted, and then hopefully we can just squeak out the top 10 here, because unfortunately I think it's gonna be close either way, although doing something like that's not gonna help my case here, because yeah, there we go, we're just gonna lose a bunch of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go and try and run 20 laps. After 20 laps, if I haven't gotten it, I'll call it there. Maybe eventually I can come and get this, but I'm not gonna burn myself out too much trying to go for it. If this is my ceiling, this is my ceiling. I know I can go a bit farther or a bit faster, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Like I said, this is actually pretty good. I was not expecting to get, you know, 14th or so, and in fact we might actually be 11th if I go back and check the leaderboard, considering we almost beat Tomcat that one run. And as I'm actually distracted and talking, who knows, maybe this is a good run. It's this section where I lose so much speed by comparison. I'm so much better going up that hill, but then I immediately lose all of that momentum. And this is, once again, this might actually be a... Okay, that is not my PB. Alright, so if you guys look at the top left of the screen here, you'll see that I did just beat his lap time. Unfortunately, it got invalidated because on the very first corner I hit the edge of that little like barrier on the side. And because of that, my whole lap was invalidated. I didn't gain any time as a result of that, but unfortunately my time does not count. And I got really lucky. So on the final jump, because my lap was already invalidated, I just kind of sent it. And I got really lucky with a slide that I did manage to beat him. But I do need to do it cleanly in order to actually make up for that. So I'll see if I can replicate that. There's no way. Yeah. Okay, well, that's just kind of how it goes. Ooh, this is the landing we needed. That's the landing I need. If I could have cleaned up the start of the lap, that is the landing that you need to do this. If you want to beat that, just keep it closer to the inside without falling off of the side into the quarry. That is basically how you do it. You gain an instant 2 or 3 tenths from that. Alright, so that hairpin was a little bit sketchy. I was pretty close to not making that checkpoint at all. But I'm getting much faster through this section, which I think is helping me out a lot. But unfortunately, I did send myself a bit too far there. But because the fences are gone, which is not something that really happens in the race. In the races, those are always reset. And because of that, you can actually just take that line and you're fine. Whereas in a race, you would lose time every time because of the fences being in the way. Ooh, this could be the one. Ooh, this is the one. 40. 40.7. That was an amazing lap. We beat Tomcat by over a second. We are probably... Is this a top 5? Is this a top 5? Let me check. That's actually a pretty sick time. I was not expecting to get down to the 40s. So after that run, I actually managed to get myself up to 5th place on the leaderboard. Not only did I get myself in the top 10, but I got up to 5th place. Not by a whole lot, mind you, but it's still 5th place. I can say that I got that. Somebody's probably going to pass me by tomorrow, or by the time this video is up, somebody might have already gone ahead and passed me. But I got 5th place. I'm pretty satisfied with that. I feel like I could probably get up to 3rd with a bit more practice. 2nd and 1st place, on the other hand, are going to take some really lucky bounces on that final jump. I think, at least on my part, they're probably gaining a bit more speed because they're all running manual. I am number 1 in the world in terms of automatic, so I have that going for me. Also number 1 in the world in terms of having traction control on, so I'm sure if I turned that off and got used to it, I could probably squeak out another 10th just based on that alone. That would get me to 4th place. It's also not something that I'm comfortable with using right now, so it'd probably take me a lot of practice before I could actually get there. So I'm going to call it 5th place. I think that's really good. Obviously, that's a pretty fun thing to say. You're top 5 in the world in anything. Obviously, this isn't something that's super serious because there's only not even 1,500 people that have tried this yet. But I'm interested to see what you guys can do. Obviously, some of you guys are way better than I am, I'm sure. Maybe you can go ahead and beat this in like 2 or 5 laps, however long it takes you. Feel free to give this challenge a shot on your own time. If you'd like, you can leave a comment down below with what time you managed to get. Also, if you'd like, you can join our Discord down in the description below. You can go down there, post a screenshot, show us what your time is. Maybe you start a friendly competition in there and we get a bunch of people trying to, you know, squeak out the top 5 positions. Maybe you're not even aware that Rivals leaderboards were even really a thing. Obviously, most people aren't because there's only not even 1,500 people that have done this. So maybe you're actually really good and within 10 minutes of doing this, you're going to crank out a 39-second lap time. In which case, I have no idea what planet you were born on because I was probably not born on the same one because that is nuts. But anyways, that's where I'm going to wrap up the video for today. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Also, if you made it this far in the video, please consider leaving a like. And I will see you guys in the next one.